This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Get ready to be engaged. Get ready to be informed. Get ready to be enraged by the man City Beat magazine called a talk radio rebel. And your host, now back to the show.
I feel it too. I feel it too, my friends. The possibilities that a new day brings. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home city of my birth. Today is Thursday, April 27th, 2017, and let's get started rather quickly, shall we? Numerous things to discuss, including an Ohio woman that was found in a dirt pit behind a neighbor's yard under a shed. I'll give you the details. 513-873-7134. Now, you know me. I'm a homer. If there's a Cincinnatian in the race, I'm always rooting for the Cincinnati. And this Sunday, a Cincinnatian is going to be competing on a nationally televised network. I'll tell you all about it. 513-873-7134. And newsflash, this just in. I have now just delivered the black vote for Mayor John Cranley. Who knew that I had so much influence in the city of Cincinnati? I'll read you some of the comments from a recent post on Facebook. Good morning to you, choppers. Currently 7:08 a.m. in the Queen City. It's been brought to my attention within the last 24 hours that taking a picture with me can get you elected mayor. I had no idea that I had so much influence. So now I've decided that during the Black Family Reunion, I will be selling ussies. $25 a pop. If you want an autograph, that's $30 a pop. So we can raise proceeds for this project. I had no idea. Now, I expect to leave the Black Family Reunion with no money in my pocket at all. But it is interesting nonetheless. Oh, here we go with this guy.
Get to the chopper!
I'll let you know when we get to the choppers, man. We'll get to the choppers. Pushy. Good morning to you, choppers. 513-873-7134. And it's very early, but I'm hoping your day is getting off to a great start. Let me be the first in the media in Cincinnati to say good morning to you. Good morning to you. Numerous things to discuss, and I would like to talk about it, all of it, right here, right now with you. Now, I brought up the mayor. You know that we are, 6 days away from the primary here in the city of Cincinnati. And we have, if you haven't already voted, we have a big decision to make. Which two of the challengers, or will it be the two challengers and the incumbent? Or will it be one of the challengers and the incumbent? Will it be the two challengers? What's going to happen? As we get closer, huge decisions to make. And it was reported that within since the beginning of the year, could be wrong about this, that the Richardson camp has brought in more donations than even the incumbent. Is that true? Is that true? 513-873-7134. Is that true? We've got a huge decision to make. I'll tell you one thing I don't hear too much of, and that is the mouth of Dwight Tillery. You don't hear from Dwight Tillery no more at all. Now, I don't know if he's out there. Matter of fact, let me go to Dwight Tillery's Twitter page right now. Dwight Tillery is the CEO for the Center for Closing the Health Gap. They do great work, I'm sure. And he's also a former mayor of the city of Cincinnati. And he also is the founder of the Cincinnati Black Agenda. At least that's my perception of it. I could be wrong. Dwight Tillery. Twitter. Everybody loves Twitter. There we go. If you're ever looking for Mr. Dwight Tillery, he's on Twitter under Tillery Dwight. How creative. He's very creative. See, when was the last time? See, the last time he tweeted anything was March 22nd. That sounds about right, because I think that was like right before that the city hit the Center for Closing the Health Gap with an audit, like boom, and all the rhetoric came to an end. You notice that? I don't know. Maybe I've missed it. I'm not saying I'm everywhere in the city. I don't hear everything, but I haven't heard from Dwight Tillery lately. Now, how is that? Why is that? I mean, what's happened in the last month in regard to the Cincinnati Black agenda? Have they been having meetings? If they have, hey, listen, I know a lot of folks involved, a lot of smart, intelligent folks that I respect. But I do think it's kind of interesting. Here we are, like less than a week away, all this energy over the last year, Cincinnati Black agenda, who's it going to be? And we don't hear a damn thing as we actually go into the primary. Could be wrong here. Let me go through Mr. Tillery's timeline here. He's got a lot of stuff he was posting all through March. See here. Oh, man, early March, he was going hard. Here's a tweet from Mr. Dwight Tillery on March 9th. Which, by the way, I never got a phone call from Mr. Tillery, never got that interview. Like I told you, we just small potatoes to him. We're not on his radar screen yet, but one day we will be. Dwight, March 9th, he writes, stories by the Inquirer and WCPO aren't the real story. It's about keeping blacks from organizing for power. It's the BAC Cranley fears. Really? Well, it seems like at least the Twitter communication stopped on March 22nd. That's over a month. That's over a month. They may still be organizing. I fully admit I am not everywhere. I don't see everything. The Cincinnati Black agenda still may be doing events. Maybe Joy Reid is going to come in and set the town next, right? That'd be nice. I'd be there too. I'd love to see Joy Reid, talk with her, hear from her. That'd be great. Can you have the Cincinnati Black agenda hook that up? Is that too much to ask for? Or is all the speakers over with now? Now that there's been an audit and people are paying attention to how they are spending the money. I don't want to be the one to say, I told you so. I'm not going to say that. I don't have to say it. I don't know. We'll see. What role will the Cincinnati Black agenda play in less than 7 days in the primary in which you have two African-American challengers and a white Democrat incumbent? Will it play any role at all? And if it plays no role, what in the hell was all of that stuff over the last year? I mean, let's keep it all the way 100 now. Let's keep it 100 now. You are talking with a picture with me can get you elected. Did you know that? You see me out, take pictures with me, folks. Because a picture with me can get you elected. And I'll read the comments from Facebook in just a minute. I know what you're thinking, Choppers. This is what the Choppers always thinking. Choppers! No!
Go! Get to the chopper!
Yes. Good morning, Choppers. Let me back up here and say good morning. You know me, this is my favorite part of each and every episode of the Nathan Ivey Show. I love to greet the folks that support me and listen to the show. And let me kick it off by saying good morning to Daryl. Daryl's number one inside the Chop Shop this morning. He writes good morning. Tiffany writes morning. Sluggo, X-Squad Affiliates, writes good morning, everyone. That's your top three inside the Chop Shop for today, Thursday, April 27th, 2017. Daryl, Tiffany, and Sluggo, good morning to all of you. Thank you for your support. And Nah For Real writes morning. Deanna writes good morning. Pat writes good morning, y'all. Tanika writes good morning, Nate, and the Choppers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation points. Is that an ice cream cone emoji? Keep it coming. Mike writes good morning. Jerica writes yo, yo, yo. Tracy writes hi. Charles writes good morning, everyone. Miss D writes greetings. As I said, an Ohio woman was found in a ditch. Like, from what I've been reading, a dirt ditch. She was held captive by one of her neighbors. And a neighbor reported her missing and found her in it. Could you imagine that? What in the hell is wrong with people these days? In a dirt ditch? I tell my wife and daughter, and I've been telling that since I've been with her. Somebody roll up on you and say, listen, come with me or else. You make them do or else right then and there. Because if they take you somewhere where they can get you alone in the dark and no one's around, they're going to do far worse things to you. Can't trust anyone these days, right? And that's what you're thinking. 513-873-7134. The world we live in, right? It's not like the old days. People don't let their kids play in the front yard anymore. Do you live in one of those neighborhoods where children play outside? Kashana writes, good morning. Angela writes, good morning. Pam writes, good morning, all. Dante writes, what's up, choppers? On the national level, we must talk about the proposed, the tax proposal from the Trump administration. Trump's tax proposal. And it's a little early to get all upset about it at this point because it's just a proposal, but it is interesting. And I will tell you what some of the experts are saying are the winners and losers of Trump's tax plan. It's real simple. You're wealthy, connected, you're going to be okay. Everybody else, another uninspired and tired tax plan. That's what it looks like to me. I've also compiled the most compelling audio clips from the last 24 hours, many of which I am dying to share with you. You know, I love a good clip. Love it. I have a clip of one of Trump's minions. Some people call him Stephen Mnuchin. I call him Stephen Minion. And he is the Treasury Secretary. Why am I saying that? Just because. That's all. Just because. And yesterday he was grilled by the White House press corps over the fact that Donald Trump still hasn't released his tax returns, which is amazing. And yeah, it's not against the law. I mean, yeah, it was just tradition, but it begs the question, why won't Donald Trump release his tax returns? Everybody else has to release their tax returns. Or, hey, listen, Obama released his tax returns. Hillary Clinton released her tax returns. It could only be for one reason. And that reason is he's got something to hide. There's something he doesn't want the public to know. Period. I don't think any reasonable person can arrive at any other conclusion. That's it. Let me come back to the local angle. A lot of people have been wondering who is going to lead the Cincinnati public school system. And Mary Ronan is retiring, longtime superintendent of the the Cincinnati public school system. And it was reported within the last 24 hours, at least it came to my attention, that there are at least two finalists. And they are both African American, if that makes any difference to you. Will that make a difference? Will having an African American superintendent make a difference? I don't know. But I'll give you more details on who the two finalists are and take your thoughts as well. If you have children that live in the Cincinnati public school system, then I'm sure you will be especially interested in all of that conversation coming up real soon. 513-873-7134. Again, this is the Nathan Ivey Show, coming to you live from nathanivey.com. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Pat writes, Cranley knows a winner when he sees it. I'm just saying, thank you, Pat. That's right. If John Cranley wins the primary, you can give me the credit. I'll take it. And what am I talking about? Well, if you go to my Facebook page, and you're going to have to go back just a little bit, not too much, I posted a photograph, and I was completely unaware of the photograph. It was actually my wife, and it was somebody at my wife's job that brought it to her attention. Okay? I was completely oblivious. The good folks at the Cincinnati Business and Courier did not call me. They did not ask for my permission. And I really wasn't that concerned about it. And you know what's so funny is that I posted the photograph that I took with the mayor. I think it was like the next day I posted all the photographs. Like whenever I'm out and I meet candidates, like the mayoral candidates, I post photographs. And so when I posted this a couple of days ago, to be honest with you, I was kind of unaware of some of the comments until just yesterday. But let me read here. You may find this hilarious. I got some chuckles out of it. Cam Hardy, what's up, Cam? Good morning to you, Cam. He writes, it looks like the black endorsement he needs. And he got 7 likes for that. Now, of course, I have not shared any endorsements for mayor. And I haven't shared any endorsements for the primary coming up next week. An endorsement is, well, me saying that I endorse someone, not just taking a photograph. I want to make sure other people understand that. Now, I'll be straight with you. If I was endorsing John Cranley, I'll tell you, I have no problem with it. And let the chips fall where they may. I have no problem with it. But again, if anyone who's listened to me for any length of time, I have no problem articulating how I feel. I have no problem with it. But this is interesting nonetheless. And so I was a little bit late to the conversation. Jerry Wright's shaking my head. Shaking your head? For what, Jerry? And they did not include, and I wish they would include in my URL. Who do I know over there? Hey, Chris Wederick. Hey, next time, man, listen, put that www.nathanivy.com so people know where I am. Damn it. Can we do that? Chris Silbach, member of council, and we know he's had some issues with the mayor. He posted, somebody wants to take a selfie with him? And of course, I said yes. We were discussing the next appearance on my show. I put that request in, so I'm hoping, and it can be sometime next week. I also reached back out as I am a man of my word. I spoke with Bob Richardson twice. I'm a fair man. I like to speak with Yvette Simpson twice as well. I reached out to her folks, and we're looking at tomorrow for yet another conversation right before the primary. I am a man of my word. Always have been, always will be. If I tell you I'm going to do something, it's done. Period. So at least as far as on my end of things, you can't force people to do anything. So if I get confirmation about the Yvette Simpson conversation, I will let you know. Then Gragston jumped in. And don't drag me into your nonsense, Gragston. Cam writes again, he needs as many photo ops with black people as he can get. Grizz writes, played. My man Dale writes, damn, Nate, you are being played. This looks like you are endorsing his sneaky ass. Wow, I would call his ass out on it. And I wrote to him, it does appear that way. It appears like here's a black guy who's like a fan of the mayor. I can't help how it appears. And somebody perhaps it could be a very fortuitous photograph with me and the mayor. And if he survives the primary, it's all because of me. It's all because of me. I want my credit. Tracy writes, fake ass smile, look at Eddie Monster. That was what she was referring to yesterday. Y'all need to stop. She writes, using your image likeness made him look like an endorsement. Well, listen, I had to think back for a second. I remember that day. Of course, it was just around the corner. That photograph was taken the night of the NAACP Prince Hall Mason Forum over at the Hamilton County Community Action Agency. It was a packed house and didn't really have a lot of time. So as soon as everything ended, I made sure I went straight up so I could connect with the mayor directly. I just like to do things directly. Good old fashioned face-to-face conversation is always the best way to go. And then J. Raj, he responded and he wrote, damn, with an exclamation point. I didn't know how to respond to that. And I had reached out to Mr. J. Raj, and I let him know that as much here. And he responded. And it was kind of interesting. Of course, people don't know Mr. J. Raj was the owner of Cameo Nightclub. And I thought it was interesting here. So, for instance, I already know how the city can work. I know how the city works. And I know that there are some people that would try to seize upon that tragedy and try to turn it into political gold. And you can put any names in there that you would like. And he said as much. He said, Nathan Ivy, I responded because we are really long to get through that. He said, as much as I would love to talk with you, Lincoln and others, especially to dispel all the bullish being put out on my name and the attempt to destroy my business by the media. Wait. Is the local media trying to destroy Julian Rogers, J. Rogers' business? Who? What am I missing? He says there's an attempt to destroy my business by the media and certain political officials. Now, when I say Cameo nightclub, not too long ago, there was a shooting at a nightclub in the city of Cincinnati in which, at least two people lost their lives. One man was killed, I think, on the scene, and then another man died later in the hospital. And numerous people were injured. Lawsuits are rolling in. Mr. Rogers, to his credit, decided that he was going to shut the whole spot down, shut down the liquor license. We're just going to move on. I think that was responsible. But there's still a lot of conversation and questions need to be answered. The business of that is not over. I get it. But as I told you initially, one of my concerns was that this might be a ripple effect for Mr. Rogers and that his other business interest, for which seems to be a lot of positivity in the city of Cincinnati, at least from my perspective, might come under attack. His other business interests may be in peril. And this comment from Mr. J. Raj seems to underscore that exact point. And again, I do not know Mr. Julian Rogers all like that. If I'm walking down the street and I see Mr. J. Raj, we'll stop and say hello. He's very friendly with my wife. I'm very friendly with him. But he does not strike me as the kind of man that would cut corners, the kind of corners that would open the door for something, what we saw. And anyone who's ever managed anyone, have you ever managed anyone, ever managed a staff? Well, even when you're dealing with adults, sometimes you can train people to do the right thing. Sometimes you can instruct people to do the right thing. And when you walk away or turn your back, they're doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing. And that could be what happened at the Cameo nightclub. And what else? He goes on and on to talk about, as much as I would like to ask how my business doesn't get the luxury of others being affected by senseless violence and how me and business go from villain to victim, he said his representation is telling him not to talk. I respect it. I understand that's a very serious matter. And he should do what he has to do to protect himself and his family and his interests. I understand it completely. But that is interesting, though. Nicole writes, got him. And then she put a face in there. I don't even know what kind of face that is, what kind of emoji that is. Don Lee writes, is that fake news, Nate? Yes, I respond. That is fake news. Someone else writes, or they wrote, should I say, this is on Facebook. How do you feel about it? How do I feel about the fact that the Cincinnati Business Inquirer or Courier took a photograph of me interacting with the mayor and then added it into one of their stories? Okay, if you don't have the latest edition of the Cincinnati Business Courier, then you should perhaps check it out. What they do is, not for my photograph, you should check it out if you're planning on voting in the May 2nd primary, because they do a Q&A with all of the candidates, the incumbent and the two candidates. And you may find it interesting. And I responded, no, I'm not happy, but I'm not overly upset either. I'm not upset. I mean, listen, in a situation like that, media's all around and you walk up to anybody and you're interacting with them, people might take photographs. It is what it is. Brandon writes, are you crouching? I'm 5'8", and I'm much taller than Cranley in person. You're at least 6 inches taller than me. How are y'all almost eye to eye? Now, we're not almost eye to eye, clearly, if you look at the photograph. I'm a good 6 inches, even though I'm like leaning in to the right. And you can even see my cell phone. What? My cell phone is getting pressed. Look at that. I can see my carrying case and everything. Now, I will say in hindsight, and you don't have to say anything about my fashion choices, I should have gone with a lighter shade, a jacket. I don't know. You tell me. In hindsight, like when I put that outfit on, I'm like, yeah, G'd up. But looking at it now, I could have gone with a lighter. I should have worn my linen jacket. Yeah, next time. Next time. What else here? I want to read all these comments. See, Tracy writes, using your image likeness made it look like an endorsement. I definitely can see that for folks who recognize me. I mean, you're in radio. I'm in radio. So for folks who can't recognize my face, I can understand that. But in fact, that is not an endorsement. If I'm endorsing somebody, you'll have no doubts about it whatsoever. You'll have no doubts. But again, I'm not overly upset either. I'll be honest with you. If people see me in that photograph and it makes them remind, wait a minute, Nate is doing a show, and they click back in, same thing I told you yesterday. It's all good with me. It's all good with me. What else here? Is that fake news? The real Terrence Howard. He wrote, Toddler Man. That's hilarious. Toddler Man. That was my nickname for the mayor. That's hilarious. Or our nickname for the mayor. Terrence, if you listen, man, we got to link up. See, Jackie writes, not a black vision, fake ass smile. Woo, Rachel writes, Nate, man, they tried to set you up, shaking my head. No, there was no setup. But someone did take a very convenient photograph. Like I said, I'm going to tip the scales of the primary in the favor of the incumbent. That's right. Trig writes, they tried to Steve Harvey you. What? They tried to Steve Harvey me. And I responded, I wish they would Steve Harvey my bank account. Steve Harvey me, that's hilarious. Kevin writes, that pick will get a lot of our blacks to vote for Cranley. Really? Wow, that's interesting. So if my picture tips the scales of the primary into the favor of the incumbent, well, damn it, maybe I should get into the city council race this year. If I got that much clout with a photograph, I can change the course of a local election. I need to harness this. My man, see y'all. What is this? I will read all your comments. Who is this? Fame writes, when you first started podcasting, you started off slow, but then you started climbing. But that wasn't fast, I guess. So you gave your other style a test. You was hardcore hip hop. Now look at yourself. Boy, you done flip-flopped. And then a bunch of like 5 smiling emojis. And then he writes, I kid. But he got 2 likes for this. And one of them was for me, for his creativity. And then the last comment here was from Daryl. He writes, he Ice Cube versed you. What? Wait. He Ice Cube versed me. That's going harsh, man. I got Ice Cube versed? Come on. You mean the way Ice Cube did NWA? With no Vaseline? No. Come on, D. That's going too far. I don't believe that one. But I do understand your point. I understand it completely. I do. That's a lot of fun. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Currently 7:34 a.m. in the Queen City. I found a great spot. I can't wait to tell you all about it. You might want to step out today or sometime this week. Plus numerous things to discuss and your phone calls and your text messages. This is the last honest place in Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming to you live from the Nathan Ivey Studios. I'll throw that in. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, and we'll be right back.
Joan Doniger. It's Tech Day on Wall Street. We'll get a look at the books for the last quarter of some major players. Amazon, Microsoft, and Intel. Amazon and Microsoft, along with Apple, Google, and Facebook, are largely responsible for the Nasdaq's push above 6,000. We'll also hear from Comcast and American Airlines. Kevin Mon of Henyon and Walsh says right now the numbers are more important than economic indicators.
I'm still staying more closely attuned to earnings reports, not necessarily for how companies did during Q1, but more so in terms of their expectation and guidance.
There is data for investors to examine today, though. Government reports on new unemployment claims and durable goods orders for March will arrive before the markets open. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg think they rose for the 3rd straight month. Realtors' data on home sales that are in the pipeline will arrive after trading begins. And the NFL's 2017 draft starts today in Philadelphia.
Guys don't really talk about antiperspirant. Despite that, 91% of Dove Men Plus Care users recommend it. Here's what they said.
It blocks the, perspiration, I think is the fancy word.
It's comfortable. It smells nice. My girl likes the smell.
Well, it's hard. I think it's quite masculine. My underarms aren't the worst thing at the gym. It's kind of like the Hoover Dam from my armpits, I guess.
Dove Men Plus Care Antiperspirant. Tough on sweat, not on skin.
In your business, you trust people who time and time again get the job done. At Indeed.com, we deliver 5 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. That's why over 3 million businesses use Indeed when they're hiring. Because getting the job done matters. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
And that's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Joan Doniger.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the
Tired of searching online? 3linkdirectory.com has handpicked tens of thousands of quality links, so you don't have to spend hours searching. Find the best internet links on 3Link Directory. Visit 3linkdirectory.com now. Enjoy quality links sorted in categories like arts, games, health, shopping, sports, travel, and many more on 3linkdirectory.com. That's 3linkdirectory.com.
The average citizen can't take off work to attend a Cincinnati City-Council meeting at 2 p.m. Actually, the average citizen has never even spoken with a Cincinnati City Council member. I'm going to change that. My name is Tamaya Denard, and I'm running for Cincinnati City Council to make your government more accessible to you. We should change City Council meetings to 6 p.m. so they're easier to attend. We should have a City Council meeting in all 52 neighborhoods. And we should explore changing our charter to stagger our elections. That way, you hear from council members more than once every 4 years. Government was designed to best serve its people. It's time we made City Hall more accessible to regular folks like you and me, and not just campaign donors. To find out more, visit TamayaDenard.com. When elected, I'm going to fight for you.
Yeah, kids would have took
Up y'all Trust Park, Nathan Ivey, the man, Cincinnati's only voice. And go to NathanIvey.com, man. Check him out.
Listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now, let's get back to the flow.
Good morning, all. Welcome back. I'll say it again. Pop that down, DJ. Good morning, all. Welcome back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati, Ohio. Brought to you by the good folks at Superlative Media. And before we go any further, I want to tell you about a brand new spot that I found. It's called Park Place Restaurant. It's located at 1185 Kemper Meadow Drive off Winton Road. Google it, choppers. Stop by and check out the lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with the healthy choice menu. If you're looking for a cool spot to watch the game, check out Park Place. Park Place Restaurant is the place with a good healthy choice menu, live entertainment, and great prices. Step out on Wednesdays for half-price wine and speak your mind with spoken word on Thursdays. Park Place Restaurant has a live band every Friday with no cover charge. Just food and drink specials. Park Place Restaurant located at 1185 Kemper Meadow Drive in Forest Park, right behind the Shell gas station. You can call ahead to reserve your table at 513-825-8888. Again, 513-825-8888. Park Place Restaurant, the place to eat. And when you step out, tell them you heard about on the Nathan Ivey Show. And let's get back to your chat. Kush writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Fame writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Sucker MCs, please note. When you're on a vacation, stop using a Motel 6 to spend your days in. I'm like Jamie Foxx. I don't stay in hotels unless it's fancy in it. You got to be deep into Jamie Foxx to get that one. B writes, good morning, all. Carolyn writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning, Choppers. Pat writes, I looked at the sample ballot. You can only vote for one candidate. Shannon writes, good morning, everyone. Tanika writes, it's a celebration emoji. Okay, beautiful. I love it. Good morning. Good to see everyone. Brian writes, morning. Casey writes, good morning, everyone. Sending positive, powerful vibrations to the team. So, I don't know. Am I the only one? What happened to the Cincinnati Black Agenda? Let me see here. I'm on their Facebook presence. And, you know, you got the Center for Closing the Health Gap. They've got an event. Is it this weekend? Could be. And what's the theme this year? I think it's racism. Something about racism, which seems very apropos, considering the energy and the tone of the conversation between the Black Agenda Cincinnati and the rest of Cincinnati. What else here? I want to make sure I get everything right. Yeah, I'm on their web pages right now, and let me see here. Last post was April 12th. Let me see. It was the last post in which they were like really going hard. Let me see here. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because what happened to all that energy and all that time that people spent? Like I told you, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. I'm telling you now what I told you last year. This is nothing new. I had the same concerns about the Black Agenda and what it really meant then. And I have the same concerns now. And here we are getting closer to the May 2nd primary. And what? Well, I don't know. We'll find out. This weekend, you got the Center for Closing the Health Gap, their event, right? Downtown, I believe. So we shall see who's going to be there. What, the Gap Band's going to be there? Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Just what I was waiting for. Great. And again, I don't know. I mean, if you're a part of Cincinnati Black Agenda, are they still out there? I mean, here we are less than a week away from the May 2nd primary. And what are they doing? Now, I'm not saying they should be doing anything. All I'm saying is, why would they spend all that time for the last year? And then you get to the get part and everybody wants to step away from it. I don't get it. I don't hear anything about it. I don't know. All those folks, I was there the first meeting when Michael Eric Dyson was there. I went for Michael Eric Dyson. I mean, I went for the Black Agenda as well, but Michael Eric Dyson, I got to pass that up. Free? I get to see Michael Eric Dyson talk for free? I'm there. Like I said, I want to see Joy Reid. Who else do I want to see? I want to see Joy Reid. I mean, they're taking requests. But again, I thought the whole point was to harness an agenda, and then that agenda was going to be something that was going to be put forward with what? I mean, it's an election year. But I don't know. You got plenty of time. I mean, this is just a primary, right? It's just a primary. I mean, you're only going to lose one candidate, right? No big deal. I don't know. To me, it appears that Tillery has backed away from all that tough talk. I don't hear from him anymore. And I do know that they have revised their original request for money for the Center for Closing the Health Gap. I do know that. Now, was that like, okay, sorry about that, city. I was getting a little too, let me back away. I don't know. I don't know. These are all fair questions. I know if I spent my time going to committee meetings and writing stuff down on chalkboards and running around and doing all this stuff, and then we get to the event and nothing happens, I might feel a little disappointed. That's just me. I could be way off. Please don't let me be way off. Set me straight. 513-873-7134. I need to be set straight this morning. I need to be set straight. So maybe when the city said, you know what? Oh, really? Let's do an audit. Maybe that was kind of like the moment in which Tillery was like, let me back up here. I don't know. That's what it looks like from my vantage point. But again, I mean, I'm not everywhere, and I certainly don't know everything. There are people in the audience, I'm sure, that have far more information than I do. Please share it. I'd love to hear it. All that talk, run around the black agenda. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. I want to see it done. Let's do it. I think having an agenda in the city of Cincinnati, a black agenda, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think actually it's a great thing. How is having an agenda ever a bad thing? It's never a bad thing. I might like in this sense. It's never a bad thing to say, listen, here are our concerns. Here's what we like to see. We're going to write it down on paper, and this is something we're all going to get behind. That's a great idea. It's a great concept. It's a basic concept. It's a great concept. So don't get it twisted like, oh, no, you just hating the black agenda. No, I just don't blindly follow. I'm not a blind follower. If it doesn't make any sense, I'm not with it. And I don't care who it is. It could be Chairman Mom. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And I know some people in the city are easily whipped into a friendly when it comes around race. You start playing that race card, as Tillery did, let's keep it real, then it happens. Now, I think there's a lot of legitimate concerns that were brought up. And how do I know that? Why do I think that? Because I've seen it. I've heard it. I was there on some levels. And I just want those issues to be in the forefront. So what is this primary about? What is it? Is it coming down to what? Old versus new, short versus tall, black versus white, male versus female? I mean, what are the issues, that you're going to be voting on if you haven't already voted early in the May 2nd primary? If you're going to vote in the primary, you might decide, I'll wait. Boy, Dale writes, really, Nate? Fame Up hit you with a verse from one of Ice Cube's songs called Be True to the Game. Come on, Nate. Nicole writes, you should run for council, Nate. Well, listen, if the mayor wins the primary, that's a sure sign that my photograph carries weight. And if my photograph can get him elected, damn it, maybe it can get me elected. Jill writes, good morning, all. Corinthia writes, good morning. Derek writes, I hear the coming. I hear the choppers coming. Says the choppers are stomping on the yard. Okay. All right. Derek writes, Kiki is missing in action. I hope she is well. Where are all those lips at? Damn, you missing it too, Derek? Me too. I'm having emoji lip withdrawal. I need my Kiki. I hope she's doing well. Fame writes, no, I didn't really get to go. I didn't get the joke, Fame. I can admit that. Fame writes, the legendary second verse from Be True to the Game. Direct shot at MC Hammer. That scene in the video was classic. Jane writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Jane. See, Daryl writes, Nate, did you see that video from Kelli Prather I tagged you in and shared it in the Friends You Like the Nathan Ivey Show page? You got to check it out. That's interesting because I reached out to Kelli Prather within the last 24 hours because I wanted to get her thoughts on how she felt about not getting the Democrat endorsement. Oh, yeah, I'm going straight for the drama, straight for it. I know she's probably got something to say about it. I've seen some of her videos. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. All right, let me go in here real quick. Listen, a great way to get content on the show is not 100%. I can't guarantee you that. Is to join the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show group page. It is closed. We've got over 600 members, and we're growing every single day. Fame, why do you keep putting this up here, the N-word? What is this? I'll read this later, man. I'm sure it's relevant on some levels. Let me see here. I'm searching. I don't see. Let me see. Where are we at here? Searching for it, Daryl. Oh, okay. Here we go. Huh. Interesting. Is lean legal? Huh. So Kelli posted and Kelli Prather is running for city council. I don't know. I think she's going to run as an independent Democrat. And I only say that because I saw a video on her Facebook page and that's what she said. So I don't know. I can't wait to talk to her. And again, as I've been telling you for months, my endeavor is to talk to all of the candidates, all of them. I want to talk to all of the incumbents. I want to talk to all of the challengers at some point here in the Nathan Ivey Show. Interesting. I wonder what this is all about. So somebody is selling lean? Interesting. Thank you for that. I will check that out. Fame writes, now 8888 is stuck in my head. Like the white guy who says, in Milford. Next thing you know, Nathan going to be on the internet in a video that goes viral like Fat Man from It's just like a mini mall. Funny you say that because I am, this last couple of weeks, I've been meeting with some folks that are, like I said, there's some very talented people in the city of Cincinnati. There's so much talent in this city. I don't care what anybody says on all levels and all industries. It is there. And I've been privileged enough to interact with some of that talent. And I am thinking about expanding my internet presence, my reach. And I've come up with a few I've been putting my head together with some creative folks, and I will let you know. I will say, I can't give you any time frame, but very soon I'm planning on embarking on a brand new project, and I think it'll be like a weekly offering, or weekly content, but it'll be in a different medium. I'll tell you more when I can. Angela writes, Gap Band or Zap? Either one. It could be Gap Band Zap or Zap Gap Band. All the same. Sister V writes, good morning, all. Rise and shine. Good morning to you, Sister V. Kelly writes, Nate, did you see the article on the young brother Joseph Prather Campbell? He's a filmmaker from Cincinnati who has a movie coming out called The Trap. See if you can get him on the show. Yes, I am aware of that, and I would like to get him on the show, and I will make those connections for sure. I'm aware of what he's doing, and I think it's pretty cool. Nicole writes, this election is about the past versus the future. Thank you for answering, Nicole. The past versus the future. Yeah, I mean, what is this election about? What is this May 2nd primary all about? What are the major issues that are going to shape your opinion and shape your decision making? Because do we really have a Cincinnati Black agenda? Is that what we're going at? Interesting. Derek writes, that Ohio woman was held in the backyard by some crazy dude. What in the hell is the world coming to? Freaks everywhere, right? She was in a pit, a dirt pit. Now, that's one thing to put me in a pit, damn it. But a dirt pit? Damn, that's disrespectful. A dirt pit, y'all? Come on now. I mean, the basement won't work? You don't have like a shed? Well, there was a shed, and she was underneath the shed in a dirt pit. What was he going to do with her? I'll give you more details in a second. Carolyn writes her thoughts on the CPS superintendent finalist. Well, I don't know enough about the two finalists to really give an informed opinion. If you don't know, the two finalists are both African American. One is a female, one is a male. One is from the city, and one is, I think he's a transplant. The female, and I don't recall the name off the top of the dome. I've got my notes here. We'll get to that during the next hour. I definitely want to talk about it. That's huge. How much of a difference does it make who the superintendent really is? Does it really make that much of a difference? I mean, you got systems in place, right? Well, before you answer, people said the same thing about the presidency before Trump became the president. Oh, the president doesn't have that much power. He can't do too much. Now we're starting to see exactly how much influence the president really has. And a tremendous amount of influence. And I can only imagine it would be the same thing if you're the Cincinnati Public Schools superintendent. I'm sure you have a tremendous amount of influence. I'm sure. That is interesting. I want to press this button and listen to this video so badly. Let me click this right here. This is Kelli Prather. Looks like she's going inside a convenience store. I love the internet. What is about to happen? I've not watched this video. It's the first time I'm watching it. I love it that way. We should watch it and hear it together. Normal convenience store, no big deal. Now, what exactly is lean? Anyone help me with that? I mean, I know what I think it is. But for the uninitiated, what is lean? And I believe it is illegal. And I will tell you this before I describe it to you. It is a popular drink. I believe it originated down south. And essentially what you do is you take like a beverage and you mix it with some very, very strong cough syrup, some codeine. And you can even put like candy in it, like Jolly Ranchers in it for a little bit of flavor. I've never tasted lean, and I'm not too interested in tasting it.
Roll my arm and get a credit card and say every back today. I guess it's a couple.
We'll get back to that. That's starting really slow. 513-873-7134. And because there's codeine in it, once you drink it, from what I'm reading, you've got like a really euphoric feeling afterward. Let's go back to this video.
It's cough syrup?
It's cough syrup. People drink sip.
Is it legal?
It's legal. Syrup is legal.
Illegal? What does legal mean?
That you high.
You get high?
Yeah. Drink and high.
Dude, she's running for city council, man. Stop talking.
It gets people high. So how is something that gets people high? How is that legal?
It's legal.
It's legal?
Yeah.
It's legal for you to sell it? That's crazy. People are dying off of lean, like Lil Wayne and me. Oh, I'm sorry. They die off of drinking lean.
No, I drink.
You drink it? Oh, God.
Why does she say, oh, God, like that? So Kelli Prather goes into what looks like a convenience store, and this dude opens up like a little cupboard, and he's selling cough syrup. You know that ish is illegal, man. So you want some lean? Wow. I will say this. See, this is just more of the ongoing conversation about the culture that some of the businesses that you see in a lot of African American communities are bringing to those communities. Listen, they're all businessmen and women. They got a right for commerce and capitalism and the whole 9 yards. I will say, though, I have walked into some of these convenience stores. And when you walk into a convenience store, you know what you're getting. You're not going to the Whole Foods store. But if you the next time you walk into a convenience store and kind of walk around, because I've done it before and look around, there's nothing in the store that's good for you that they sell. Everything in the store is bad for you. From the impulse buys, all the sugary, high fructose, corn syrup, right? Ingredients and all the stuff, artificial flavorings, this and that, from that. You go in some of these stores, man, you can get any kind of wrap under the guise of nobody's buying the Game, cigarillos, and wraps. Nobody's buying Garcia Vegas. Nobody's buying that for cigarettes, man. All that stuff is used for marijuana. Everybody knows it, but under the guise of, you can roll tobacco in this. These dudes in the hood are not buying these Swisher Sweets. The new one now is the Game, right? Sure way to get black men hooked on smoking something is to call it the Game, right? I see the marketing. You walk in some of these stores, they don't sell. The best thing for you in that store is water. That's it. They don't sell anything good for you. From the snacks, hell, the gas isn't even good for our environment. Scratch offs. I mean, these are all creature comforts. And as a human creature, you have a right to spend your money the way you want to. But I'm just making a point here. This is commentary. You have a right to spend your money any way you want to, but this is just commentary. This is amazing. You go in some of these stores, they don't sell anything that's good for you unless you buy a scratch off ticket and hit. Oh, then it's good for you. Alcohol, all the cheapest malt liquor, bottom of the barrel liquor, beer, beverages, all kinds of stuff to smoke with, tobacco, chew with. I mean, it's like feeding your addictions. You go in some of these stores and everything they offer is like food for your addiction, where you got a candy addiction or a sweet addiction, right? You're addicted to snacking or tobacco or marijuana or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. I mean, it's America. Alcohol, gambling addictions. You can get any addiction you have served. Any addiction you have, you can get it served. But again, it's legal. I get it. I mean, you have the right to buy what you want. 513-873-7134. Some have suggested that these convenience stores don't have a positive impact in our community. Some have suggested that they need to be pushed out, maybe rezoned. I don't know. What do you think? This is the Nathan Ivey Show, and we'll be right back.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com.
Stay focused. Now that's a major key alert.
Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad.
Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi, sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't give a bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Ivy Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent. You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now, let's get back to the flow.
Good morning, all. Nathan Ivey with you. Currently 8:05 a.m. in the Queen City. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Let me say heads up to all of my patrons, team and I, the Choppers. I appreciate your support. And I just made connection with Kelli Prather. Perhaps she'll give us a call within the next 15 minutes or so. Yeah, I want to get her thoughts straight up. You know me. I want to get her thoughts on how she feels about the Democrat endorsements for City Council. She did not receive the endorsement. And now that you brought this video to my attention, I want to get her thoughts on the lean that was sold at this convenience store. Again, I'm not trying to put anybody out of business. I'm just making an observation. And I'm not necessarily these convenience stores, they're selling things that human beings want. Okay, it is what it is. We all have our creature comforts. We all have our guilty pleasures. You know I do. Mine is ratchet reality television from time to time. Mila writes, where is that video? Is it on YouTube? It is, the video is inside the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show Facebook page. I'm sure it may be on Kelly's Facebook page as well, perhaps. Angela writes, LOL, I was weak at her. Oh, God, yeah. That was funny. Majestic writes, Pimp C from UGK died from that garbage lean. I've never tasted lean. Anybody inside the chop shop, have you ever tried lean? I've heard about it, but I never thought it was something I wanted to do. Never thought that. Angela writes, it's supposed to be that scissor. I remember that song. Sipping on some scissor. Sit. Turn that down, DJ. Sit on some scissor. You don't want to see the man movements that I'm making. You don't want to see that. Thank God this is not videotape. Susan V writes, Nathan, we need your voice to be where you are, reporting, informing, and challenging the status quo with your flows. I appreciate it, Sister V. Thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoy doing media. I enjoy talking about the issues. I enjoy hearing people's perspectives. You know me, I enjoy a good, robust debate. I love it. Nah, for real, right? Sounds like you know exactly what lean is, LOL. Well, I mean, I've read about it, and do I know anyone? No, I don't have any. No one's ever said to me like, hey, I tried some lean. Like, I don't have any friends that have ever come to me like that. If I did, I'd tell you. I'm straight with you. But no, I've never tasted it. And I still don't have any desire to, quite honestly. I'm cool. I don't really want to alter my state. I like to be focused. Right now, it's more important to me focused than any other time in my career, quite honestly. So, no, I'm not interested. But I'm interested in the conversation about the effect in our communities. And I'm especially interested in in finding out if people are selling lean in our convenience stores. Because to me, and I don't know how you feel about it, if you walk into a convenience store and somebody just comes out with some lean and it's in a medicine bottle, and if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, lean is a drink. I think it was made popular in the South. I want to say Houston. And if you're just tuning in, you drink lean to change your state. So you take alcohol, you mix it with some cough syrup. I'm talking about like the cough syrup you can only get with a prescription, perhaps with the codeine in it. You ever had that before? I got a cough, 2 years ago. And the doctor prescribed me this big ass bottle of codeine. The stuff was so, listen, you've met me before. I'm 6'4" and change. I'm a very big man, or I'm not a very big man, but I'm a big man. Okay. I am a very big man. Okay. But anyway, but I still don't want to drink some lean. All right. For what? I don't need that. But you take cough syrup, codeine, you mix it together. I've read that some people put like other stuff in it. Like you can put candy in it, Jolly Ranchers, Skittles, whatever. Mix it all up. People drink that. And I have known people that used to drink Four Locos. Remember Four Locos? And they had to change it because people were getting sick. I've never drank a Four Loko. I mean, look, a beer every once in a while is cool. That's cool. What the hell am I drinking lean for? You got people out there who haven't even gone, they've just got out of high school drinking lean. Save the lean for when you've accomplished your goals and you're retired. Then you can drink lean. Well, actually you can't because it's legal, but you know what I'm saying. It's illegal. To the phones we go. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey, and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. First, what up, John? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, John. Welcome to the show.
Wow. Okay. Great. First, hopefully before we can get to Donald Trump's tax plan, I'd like to hear your comments about, I don't know if you read into that one-page tax plan of his yesterday, a joke. But did you watch HBO Sunday? I think it was Monday night or Sunday night, as well as it came on again last night at 6 o'clock. Oprah Winfrey's latest movie on HBO called
My wife watched it, and I watched some of it. I kind of walked in the room and I saw Oprah, and I'm like, damn, Oprah is a hell of a talent. She's very talented. But no, I did not watch it. I am aware of the movie you're talking about, though.
Well, this is, and anybody that's not aware of it or don't have HBO, you can go to my website, purehistory.org, and click into the Sandra Spluth story and on the search engine block on my website, and you will see a documentary focusing on that. And the woman that really brought out the story really quick, this woman wrote at 14, she knows she was going into medicine, and she started reading about genes, and she started focusing on that. So over the years, she knew about the story, and she waited for the right opportunity to write this book about this woman, African-American woman in the 40s or the 50s. She passed away of cancer, but when she passed away, the hospitals and doctors and pharmaceutical companies took her genes, and they profited off her genes over years, decades, of millions, or should we say, billions of dollars. And her genes were able to recircle itself and cure a lot of things. Now, the family was not aware. How do you take a person's genes and organs and use those genes where scientists and labs were profiting big time? So this woman did her investigation. She's a medical doctor, and she wrote about it, and eventually Oprah Winfrey got wind of the book, read the book, and signed the rights to the book. And as you can see, your wife was watching the HBO story. But it's a fascinating story how this is nothing new to us in the African-American community, that they take our genes, our organs, and they profited off of us millions of dollars. And the key is, should the family be compensated? Yes, the family should be compensated. How do you take the mother's genes and profited billions of dollars worldwide from pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, doctors, labs, and profit off this woman's genes, which, yes, it helps medicine, yes, it helps cure different things, but you don't let the family know of what you're doing? That's a little bit sneaky and creepy to me. And it's disturbing that the family was not brought up. I think, yes, the family does have a lawyer, and the family has been fighting the labs and hospitals and everybody that's profited off their mother's genes and have not been compensated. As far as I know, no, the family has not been compensated from years of filing lawsuits and fighting everybody that's supposed to be involved. But just brings out the story. I applaud Oprah Winfrey for tackling this, because most people probably realize they're going up against a big machine. Well, she's a big machine, too. So she has nothing to gain but to do the story and bring out what's wrong with the whole system. Your comments?
My comments is that I'm fascinated by the story. I was not ignorant to it, but I was unaware about the movie. Like I said, I kind of walked into the living room on Sunday, and my wife is all engaged. And she's like really engaged, and we're talking about it, and she tells me about Henrietta Lack's story. So I became more familiar with it, and I can't wait to view it. And this is something that could still be an issue today. As I understand it, your doctor, let's say it's leftover tissue from a surgery. Let's say you have a mole removed or some kind of tissue or blood is left over. As long as the medical industry does something called as de-identify, meaning that your name and your personal information are not attached to that particular specimen, then it's fair game. And my thing is that family should have been compensated. Because stop me if I'm wrong, but they use those cells, and it's actually a deeper conversation, because something called the immortal cell line, which I'm not saying I've got like the inside track and completely can articulate it, but I got a general sense of what it is. But from what I understood, they took those cells from Henrietta Lack, and they were able to use it to discover the polio vaccine. It led to advances in gene mapping and chemotherapy and all these other medical breakthroughs. And that's a great thing for all of us. But make sure you compensate the family. Yeah. That's my thing. Make sure they're compensated appropriately for the discoveries based upon their family members' immortal cell line.
Well, I agree with you 110%. I think you talked about it eloquently for the audience out there that wasn't fully aware of Oprah Winfrey's story, as well as the book has been out for years. I think her book, this woman that wrote the book, her book came out I think it's 2001. I don't have the information in front of me. But the book has been out for a while. And Oprah was smart enough to jump on it because she saw a good story. And hopefully out of this book, the family, it will be pressure put on from the pharmaceutical companies, labs, hospitals, doctors, everybody that's profited off this woman's DNA and cells. They should be compensated. And I agree with you 100%. So anybody that doesn't have HBO, if you have a computer, you go to purehistory.org, click into Henry Lett's story on the search engine on my website, and there are 2 pages with a documentary that talks about it and that talks about that story. And one other story, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you heard of the regiment, the Black Regiment of World War II, the 364th Regiment. I don't know if you ever heard of that story, how 1,200 African-American men, this was an all-black unit during World War II in a camp, can't remember the camp in Mississippi, were slaughtered. 1,200 men slaughtered on an Army camp base. It's a story behind it, but, you need to read into that, too. And over the years, the Army has never been held accountable as to how they can go on that Army base and slaughter 1,200 African-American men slaughtered on an Army base. That was a part of that unit. The story has been hidden. You can Google different information. History Channel did do a documentary. Go to my website, click in 364th, and you'll see a documentary. The writer of that brought out the story back in 2001 was Carol Chase. Look it up, Carol Chase, C-A-S-E. He wrote the book about the mystery behind the 364th and how this story has been hidden for years. The Army has wiped out. You Google anything dealing with the 364th, the Army has wiped everything out. They will not bring out information. Several black representatives have pressured the government as to any information dealing with this, and they do not give up the information. So anybody that's into history and want to know about that regiment, look that up or go to my website. You'll find out more about it.
Well, John, thank you for the history, man. Look at you. I feel all educated now. Thank you so much. Anything else?
That's it. But
all right.
Those 2 stories with Oprah Winfrey's story and the 364th story just puzzled me the whole week. I've often knew about the Oprah Winfrey story. I knew about that years, but I reposted that information on my site. So anybody that doesn't have HBO and you want to see some background information about the writer for that story as well as the other,
all right, we got it.
You can easily find out that information.
All right, John, thank you for the call, man.
Yes.
Most Def, that's John checking in. I just posted a link on my Facebook page about the Oprah Winfrey movie and Henrietta Lack and the Immortal Cells. It's sort of like a playoff of the significance of her life with the story, the title of the particular movie. The title is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lack. And there's some meaning behind that when they say immortal life. You should read it for yourself. And you may even ask yourself some questions. Privacy issues. Does the family deserve any compensation? Do these type of things continue to happen today? Like, it's so convenient for us to talk about what happened with the Tuskegee experiment and talk about all these abuses as a past tense. That's a very convenient thing to do. It's harder to admit that on some levels, perhaps these atrocities, these tragedies, these terrible incidences are happening today. That's what's more troubling for some. 513-873-7134. Somebody sent me a photograph from looks like a shot from the window of a gas station, a BP gas station on the corner of Reading and Tennessee Avenue. I know exactly where that is. I was just passing the intersection. I passed it twice yesterday. There's a Gold Star right over there. I know exactly where that is. And there's a photograph. It reads, legal lien, just pour up a deuce. And it looks like Sprite and a slushie. And legallienstore.com. Okay, well, let's go there. You know me, I love to jump around the internet with you. Let's do it. legalleanstore.com. Legal, well, I put, there we go. Let me get it right. Legalleanstore.com. Here we go. Legalleanstore.com. Oh, Legal Lean. Just pour or produce. Hey, I can just pour or produce. Legal Lean. I'm reading that this is a dietary supplement. Natural health solutions to ease stress and relax the mind. What's wrong with that? Just pour or produce. Oh, and they got images of people smiling. Look at that. See beautiful women. They're holding the Legal Lean. Listen, that's a good way to get some men. All you got to do is hold up a product, put a product in the hand of a pretty girl, and some men are going to go for it. Wait a minute. You're telling me beautiful women will want me if I'm drinking Legal Lean? There's reviews. There's a guy passed out. Legal Lean. Well, maybe there is something called Legal Lean. Or maybe this is just a BS site. I don't know. I'm not really into lean. That's not really my thing. Oh, lots of beautiful women are smiling with the lean. Oh, happy customers. Oh, I've got lean. I've got lean. Look at this. Oh, people. I've never seen such happy people. I've never seen such happy people. Legal Lean. Oh, boy. Our work is just getting started, folks. Just getting started. Kush writes, word, Nate. Carolyn writes, where is this store located? Why doesn't the law and public safety man know about this? Maybe he does. Angela writes, don't forget about the slush puppy machine. Oh, can't forget about that. Cerinthia writes, blue slushy served up with 20 ounces of dirty Sprite. LOL. Oh, yum, yum. Sounds appetizing. Sounds refreshing, should I say. Angela writes, coffee never brewed out, slush puppy machine, stay locked up and pumping. Oh, you've been to these convenience stores, huh? Jennifer writes, I'm late, but glad I'm here. Good morning, all. Good morning to you, Jennifer. Craig writes, the America can wait. Keeping black people dumbed down and drugged up. Well, I did come across an article many years ago. It was titled The Legal Drugging of America. And it was about how Americans, so many Americans, are legally under the influence of drugs on any particular day, over-the-counter drugs. Carolyn writes, Kelli Prather is the truth. Stay pounding the pavement. She writes, Nate, if that store is selling something illegal, they need to be put out of business. Majestic writes, liquid crack. Now, maybe Legal Lean, in terms of the chemical makeup, is not the lean that was made so popular by people like in the hip-hop industry. Maybe these are people saying, look, I'm going to take that name lean and I'm going to create something that's not illegal and get people to consume it and to buy it just because it's got lean on it. Could have been that. Akeem writes, I was on that lean in my college years in Florida. Cerinthia writes, I took a sip, shaking my head. Not my thing. I can't take cold medicine like a big girl as it is. Drinking green apple Robitussin ain't my thing. Angela writes, I have never heard of any of this type of thing. Is that right? Rhonda writes, I'm so out of the drug loop that this is my first time ever hearing about lean. And guess what, Rhonda and Angela? That says great things about you. Because if ever there was any loop that you don't want to be a part of, it's that loop. That loop doesn't end anywhere good whatsoever. Akeem writes, popped ecstasy, snorted coke, mass alcohol, etc. Rich white kids in Florida. Once I came home and introduced the serve to my community and seeing how my people acted, I stopped. When I got high with the rich white kids, all we did was jam out like hippies in front of campfires. Do you have any videos? I think I would watch that. By campfire? Oh, boy. Akeem is a character. Miss D writes, the movie is the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. Jericho writes, I encourage everyone to watch the story of Henrietta Lacks. I'm going to watch it. Cerinthia writes, the folks that I know that drank lean says that they hadn't had a cold since they started. Some of them been drinking that stuff for years. I mean, People have been taking alcohol and putting it in coffee and putting it in tea and putting it in all kind of things. I don't think that lean is anything necessarily new. It's just new to some people, and maybe it's got a different name. But something tells me that these type of mixtures and chemicals and cocktails and whatever you want to call it, they've been around since the beginning of time. Since mankind has been mixing two things in two bowls. It's something about the human experience that makes some people want to alter their states. They want to feel differently. Even as a kid, you'll see kids sometimes like they'll spin around. They're like, wait a minute, I feel different. And it's not that they're not trying to get high, but they are experiencing a euphoric sensation because of the dizziness. And what do kids do? They keep doing it. They keep fast and turning and turning. It's like, wait, stop, son. Because they're feeling that euphoric feeling. They're kind of off center a little bit. The world is spinning. They're like, whoa. Majestic writes, black DNA is highly coveted. Dare writes, they are still doing today with the black women's placenta after she gives birth. That is why if a woman chooses to want to keep the placenta after giving birth in a hospital, she would have to jump through so many hoops to get it. Why would they put such an obstacle for a woman to gain her own placenta if they aren't going to do something with it? Craig writes, John researched the history of voting. It's deep. Good point, Craig. All that research you're doing on Henrietta Lacks, you need to be researching voting. Nicole writes, I'm waiting for my daughter to come back from summer break to watch it with her. It's crazy. I gave her the book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, before she left to Tuskegee last year. As a biology major, I wanted her to know the significance and hidden story of this black woman in her field of study. Don writes, one key ingredient is melatonin. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that, Don. Dale writes, if it's harmless and legal, why isn't it advertised in BP gas station in the majority white neighborhoods? Well, maybe lean is a black culture thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a black youth thing. It's a black thing. I don't know. Could be. That's what it seems like. Or maybe it's a plot to drug down the black community. Either or. It could go either way. Demo writes, I had lean before my heart was beating. I had lean before. My heart was beating fast and hard for days, first and last time. Yeah. I'm cool on it, man. I'm cool on it. I don't even want to sip. I'm cool. I mean, just go old school with a beer. Some things should be old school. I don't need the lean. I don't need it. But again, if you're interested in that story about Henrietta Lacks, I did post a link on my Facebook page. It is up right now. You can check it out right now if you're interested. I think anyone who goes to the doctor should be interested in this. To me, it's not just a black-white thing. Now, African Americans in particular are going to feel something about this because of the nature of the story and Henrietta Lacks being an African American woman. And then for black folks of some age, they still remember the Tuskegee experiments and, other things that were done in this country. Again, my question is, we can't change the past. What do we do about the present and the future? That is my question. And if you're not exposed to what has happened, then it limits what you think can happen. I'll say it again. If you're not exposed to what has happened, then it limits your perspective on what can happen. You might even think something like that possible. What? Someone took your tissue and did what? How could they? Isn't that against the law? 513-873-7134. That is my number. All I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. And I want to tell you once again about Park Place Restaurant. It's located at 1185 Kemper Meadow Drive off Winton Road. You can stop by Monday through Friday and check out the lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. They feature a healthy choice menu. Now, what does that mean? Among other things, no red meat in any of their dishes, anything on their menu. Looking for a cool spot to watch the game? Well, then check out Park Place. I know you love the Reds. Maybe you want to watch some FC Cincinnati. Maybe you want to watch the NBA Speaking of NBA, Russell Westbrook is sitting at home. What kind of MVP is that? Maybe you want to watch the NBA Finals? Check out Park Place Restaurant. Perhaps you're looking for a place to host your meetings or events. They've got a great room. It's kind of off to the side. It's got a door that you can actually shut if you want some privacy. It's got a big boardroom table in there with many, many chairs. I mean, you could put like at least 10 people at least at that table, probably much more. If you need a television screen, perhaps you're doing some trainings or you want to put some images up, they've got a television screen in there available for you as well at Park Place. They also feature live entertainment and great prices. Step out on Wednesdays for half-price wine and speak your mind with spoken word on Thursdays. Park Place Restaurant has a live band every Friday with no cover charge. Just food and drink specials. Park Place Restaurant, again, located at 1185 Kemper Meadow Drive in Forest Park, right behind Shell gas station. Or as always, you can call ahead at 513-825-8888 to reserve your table. Park Place Restaurant, the place to eat. And Google it, choppers. Again, 1185 Kemper Meadow Drive. Chuck writes, I was hip to Henrietta Lacks years ago. The further exploitation of black folks. See, Clue Magic writes, well, that's a word I can't pronounce. I need some time with that. Mixed with Sprite equals retardation. At least I'm honest. Don writes, Nate, look up the ingredients. Mila writes, I want to see the entire video. Me too. Me too. Let me check my messages again here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. See me too. All right. Lean, huh? It's all about the lean. It's all about the lean. No, it's really all about the Benjamins. No, it's not about the Benjamins. It's all about education, the lean. Let me see here. I don't know if this. See, people keep sending me links to what appears to be fake news sources. I don't know if they are now, but they appear to be fake news sources. And they want to get my opinion about Serena Williams and her comments about her new boo. But I don't know if those comments are actually true. So far, I've seen a lot of fake news sites. Like I can spot a fake news site from 1,000 miles away. But that's only because I've spent a lot of time in the media. I've been online looking for content for years and years and years. So I've got a pretty good understanding of what sites are like serious and what sites are just straight up fake news. I mean, one way to tell is the outrageous headlines. Like, I've seen people post things like, oh, Michael Jordan is dead. Did you hear this? Oh, I'm in mourning. I missed number 23. I've seen this on Facebook, right? And then we find out that, in fact, that it's just fake news. Tracy writes, my 12-year-old told me what was in lean and clearly pronounced the word. Really? Your 12-year-old? Well, you know how it is. I mean, these kids go to school, they get around other children, they start picking up bad habits. They start doing things that they weren't even aware of at first. That's just the nature of the game. We all did it. Lean, though? That's different, though. Lean, And so what should happen if, in fact, there is a convenience store, like one of these gas stations that's selling illegal lean? Should you shut it down? What exactly happens? Should we be doing an investigation? Should the city do an investigation into all of these establishments to see what they're actually serving and selling to their patrons? The other side about it is, let's say they find out that it's legal, but it's got some questionable chemicals inside of it. If human beings want to run out and buy it, let them run out and buy it. You know how I feel about the whole drug thing. I mean, on some levels, and I have a lot of sympathy, but on some levels, that's a series of self-inflicted blows. I understand that drug abuse is a disease. That's what people say. I get it. But in a lot of cases, it's a self-inflicted. Well, nobody told you to get on drugs. You just couldn't sip the lean like everybody else. You had to go be the lean king. No, P. Evans writes, that's why my doctor told me to lock up my prescription cough syrup. Like I told you, upstairs in my, I guess you can call it a medicine chest. I mean, I've got a pretty big bottle of some pretty strong, like, anti-cough syrup, because about 2 or 3 years ago, I just had a cough. It was persisting. I didn't know if it was allergies. I didn't know what it was. I went to the doctor. He looked at my throat, and he prescribed me this big-ass bottle of, like, codeine or something. And so you know how it is. I wanted to relieve my symptoms, so I took a little sip, and I was absolutely done. It was super powerful. I need to pour it out, actually, because I have no intentions on doing anything with that bottle. I don't want it. Tracy writes, the DEA should be in the store today. The DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, perhaps. But I'm saying, is there something that the city should be doing? Like, if this is an epidemic, because what I'm trying to figure out is there a connection between the type of drugs that are available in the city and the types of crimes that we see in the city? My theory is that a lot of these most serious and heinous and despicable crimes, people getting shot over a little bit of nothing, my theory is that in a lot of cases, these individuals are doped up. As I told you yesterday, there are people that wake up in a jail cell. They've committed a terrible crime, and they can't remember anything about it because they were just so out of their minds on lean and weed and Molly and whatever else, alcohol. Oh, chase it all down with some alcohol. Within the last 24 hours, I was having some online conversation with somebody who is, she's a teacher. And she was talking about how she has lost a lot of her students. She's lost too many students, she said, Nate, to suicide. And I asked her, I said, wow, that's terrible. I mean, why are young people in our city feeling as if they don't care anymore? I mean, you're 18, you're 19, you're 20, you're 21, you're 22. The world is your oyster. You have nothing but your future in front of you. Why do some of the young folks out there feel as if they don't? And she told me that they're broken. They don't have the coping skills to deal with life's obstacles. And I think that's the same reason why you got people out there that's always high. There are people in this city that wake up every day. The first thing they do is reach for their drug du jour, their drug of choice. They reach for the pipe. They reach for the needle. They reach for the cup. They reach for the blunt. I'm here to tell you, marijuana is a highly addictive substance, highly addictive. I know a lot of black people don't think it is. Oh, it's from the earth. Oh, Snoop Dogg said it was all good. Look at Snoop Dogg. He's okay. Marijuana is a highly addictive substance. There's a lot of dudes out here running around, and on the surface, it's like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm smoking blunts everywhere. Oh, I'm blowing smoke into the air. Look at me. And really, they're addicts. I mean, if you really want to think about it, Snoop Dogg is an addict. Matter of fact, speaking of Snoop Dogg, he'll be in town tonight. Isn't Snoop Dogg at Riverbend tonight? I believe he is, yes. So, I'm not calling Snoop Dogg out. I'm just saying that anybody that's smoking weed for 20 years straight is an addict. But through hip hop, Snoop and others have been able to glorify their addiction and turn it into like an act. And tonight, I'm sure the crowd, oh my God, listen. Woo, the weed smoke is going to be thick over Riverbend tonight. I don't know which way. Let me check out which way the wind is blowing. Weather conditions, because, woo, if you live anywhere close to Riverbend, you're going to get a contact high tonight. That is for sure. Let me see. Number one, let me make sure that Snoop is actually in Cincinnati tonight. I think he's at Riverbend. Let me see. Let me double check here. Yeah, I believe he is. Yeah. He's in Riverbend tonight. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be hot. Or should I say it's going to be loud? Pun intended. It's going to be very loud on 2 levels at the Snoop Dogg concert tonight. Chuck writes, lean equals Lil Wayne. BS3 Sports writes, good morning. Good morning to you, BS3 Sports. Corinthia writes, I do believe folks are on something. Lean isn't it. It's pills, Xanax, Vikes, perks, crushed up, either smoked or snorted. She's right. She's right. I mean, there are major parts of the city that needs an intervention. There's major parts of the city that needs an intervention. And a lot of it starts, marijuana can be a gateway drug. It'd be terrible. BS3 writes, Snoop can't stop. You're right. That means he's an addict. Mike writes, legalize it. I'm with you. It should have been legalized a long time ago. A long time ago. It just makes perfect sense. One day in the state of Ohio, it will be legal. And I just hope that when they do that, that the plan allows for as many people, who have the resource to be involved with it as possible. Dale writes, especially if he's bringing Wiz Khalifa. Yeah, Wiz Khalifa's another one. Wiz Khalifa is a dope addict. I'm going to say it again. Wiz Khalifa is a dope addict. I know you don't hear about him talk like that in those kind of terms, right? But let's call it what it is. He's a dope addict. Marijuana is just another form of dope. Dope is a generic term for, drugs. He's a dope head. And he makes music about dope. The last video I saw of Wiz Khalifa was like a vlog. I think I was on like World Star or something, about a year or so, maybe longer than that. And, it was smoke. I mean, the most interesting thing about Wiz Khalifa is that he smokes weed. That's the most interesting thing about him. And he's got a lot of tattoos. And, when I see people that got like tattoos, listen, I got a couple tats. You may have a couple tats. I'm saying, okay, and I'm speaking generally here, so don't get all tenderhearted on me. I'm just saying that when I see people that's like completely covered with tats, they got the sleeves and it's all over their neck and one on their ear and one behind the eye. It's like they're trying to create, it's like the way I perceive it is that they don't really think that they're attractive. So they want to put body art on to make them feel like to raise their self-esteem. Is very, very sad. Dare writes, especially if he brings Wiz Khalifa, all we're going to see is a cloud of smoke and the music playing. You ain't going to be able to see them. Yep. I've not gone to a Snoop Dogg concert, but I know people who have. And I've seen images and videos. I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and look at Snoop Dogg concert. Boom, it's there. You're going to see it. Plumes of smoke. And again, if you go to a Snoop Dogg concert, you know what you're getting into. That's his audience. But it's just amazing how basically you got artists out there that are nothing more than addicts. They're addicts on the stage. That's all it is. And Snoop Dogg has been sharing, and I love Snoop, by the way. Snoop has been sharing his 25-year addiction, album after album. Enough of me, more of you. Let's go back to the phone, shall we? Good morning, caller. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Nathan? This is Kelli Prather.
Hey, Kelly. Good morning. I'm doing great.
Hey.
We've been talking about you this morning. Your video when you went to the convenience store with the lean.
Yes.
What?
Nathan, can you imagine them selling this product? I mean, Lil Wayne, you were just talking about Snoop Dogg, and the analogy I made was Lil Wayne, how he recently came out of multiple comas back to back, and he was having seizures as a result of taking lean. And so how can lean be legal? There's nothing legal about this. And, after I posted that video, there was community outrage because we cannot believe that individuals are allowed to sell this poison in our community. So
did you know about it beforehand, Kelly, and that's why you went up there?
No, I was leaving a meeting. Actually, there was a meeting scheduled for the NAACP's Freedom Fund dinner, and it was canceled. And so I went just to get gas or, to get some things, some items out of the store. And the first thing I noticed was this sign with legal lean, which is what I posted. And I was appalled.
Wow, legal lean. And so when you walked in, I saw the video. The guy opens up like a little cupboard or shelf or whatever, and it's like a medicine bottle. Was it a medicine bottle, or was it just it was made up to look like a medicine bottle?
It was made up to look like a small medicine bottle, but it kind of reminded me of, how they have the energy drink, the 5-hour energy drink. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay.
I looked around the store. I didn't know the way that the picture looks like it's a soda can. And so I was looking in the freezers for it because I was going to take it to him and ask him about it. And he said, no. I said, well, where is it? And that's when he opened up the little medicine cabinet. He said, it's cough syrup. And I said, is that legal? And he said, well, cough syrup is legal. I said, no, this is lean. I said, this is something totally different. And so apparently it gives you the effect of being high, the same effect that the lean that they're selling on the streets gives you, or wherever they get it. I'm not sure where they get this.
Yeah, I've never had lean, and I don't want lean. I'm straight at this point. Right. So as we sit here right now, what's going on at that particular store? Is there being pressure put on? Did they take the sign down?
Well, at that time, what I did, as soon as I noticed it, I tagged some executive committee members of the NAACP and also Bishop Bobby Hilton, who's the president of the National Action Network, just saying that something needs to happen. And so I believe there's going to be a movement around this to deal with it because, like I said, community civil service organizations and community members are outraged. So I'm pretty sure that there's something that will take place as a result of this. When I went back and I took a picture of the actual photo that they had up in the window, the guy kind of waved me off as if, don't pay her any attention, where, and that was fine. So I don't know if they've removed the signs or if they've removed the product or what, but if I'm in that community, which I'm all over. If I'm in that community today, I'll stop by and see if it's still posted. But I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a movement and there's going to be pressure for him to remove not only the sign but also those products from the shelves.
Now, Kelli, I want to talk about the Democrat endorsements, but before I do, I want to kind of run through a series of things and make sure I understand what's going on here. So you ran for Senate, and yes. That was last year, correct?
Yes, I was in the 2016 U.S. Senate, the Democratic primary for the United States Senate. And I did really well, Nathan.
Right. And how many votes did you get in the Hamilton County area or do you know in the Cincinnati area in particular?
In Hamilton County, I believe I received close to 12,000 or close to 13,000 votes. In Cincinnati, I need to get the stats to see exactly how many I received in Cincinnati. But I'm certain that most of those votes came from Cincinnati since I know a lot of people in Cincinnati.
Right.
And so I'm certain that most of those votes came out of Cincinnati, which basically lines me up to be a shoo-in for city council, especially with what I'm doing now, because Nathan, as you know, I threw my name in a hat 3 months prior to the election and was all across the state. And so a lot of people in Cincinnati had no idea that I was running or as involved as I was. And that was my strategy. My strategy was to run for the United States Senate to get name recognition so that I could be a shoo-in for other offices coming up in the future.
And were you also a delegate at the DNC last year?
Yes.
So
yes, I was.
Okay. So
I even garnered the support of former Governor Ted Strickland. He said, Kelli, you have an amazing voice. You're powerful. And he said you gave it a good shot. And he said, had you started out earlier, I would have really been on edge because in the end, I came out with 144,000 votes, and that was just 100,000 shy of P.G. Sittenfield, the other individual who I ran against. And so, for me to have spent $5,000 and for my opponents to spend $1 million plus, that said a lot. And I was also, like you said, appointed to the Democratic National Convention's Platform Committee, where I started working with Congressman Maxine Waters. I met John Lewis. I met, just key Democratic players across the state. And so with that being said, you would have thought that I would have also garnered the support of the Hamilton County Democratic Party. But, of course, I've been really vocal about some of the institutionalization here, especially the racism and classism and sexism. And so for that reason, I'm not your standard status quo politician. I'm not someone who's going to do politics as usual. And so to me, in my professional opinion, I didn't garner the support for that reason. But it's okay. But of course, with me having been appointed to the Democratic National Convention's Platform Committee, got the support of the Democratic Party, and then I also have the support of the co-chair of the Ohio Democratic Party, Ryan McClin and Joyce Beatty and Wayne Coleman, and who was the mayor of Columbus for 16 years, and they wanted him to run for another term, but he just decided to, walk away when his legacy was strong. It seems like I would have gotten that support in Hamilton, but to me that speaks volumes about some of the things or how things are ran here in Hamilton County.
Were you trying to get the Democrat endorsement? I know they got a process. I know they were interviewing candidates. Did you go through that process?
Yes, I went through that process, and even Ann Zeller was one of the greeters at the endorsement interview. I did my endorsement interview last Tuesday, and I put my best foot forward. I had to submit an interview questionnaire, and I'm more than willing to share that interview questionnaire with the entire city or post it online. And then I also had to submit my resume, and my resume is impeccable. I've done a lot of amazing things that would basically align me or to make me to be a good shoo-in for the political arena, because I've had a lot of experience in different areas where politics is just basically controlling those institutions. But I mean, of course, I was not selected. Was I surprised? Just based on some of my stances politically, I'm not surprised. Was I disappointed? Well, who would not be disappointed if they did not get the Democratic endorsement when they literally ran around the country doing things for the Democratic Party? But, I mean, it's not going to stop me, Nathan. I am going to run, and I'm running as an independent Democrat. So, and that's fine because, honestly, with the city council race is a field race. And I know that I have the support of people from multiple parties. And so it's not discouraging. It's not going to discourage me from running. Because when you run for city council, they don't put a D or R behind your name from what I've been told and what I remember. They just put your name on there. And my name stands out. So I think they'll have a successful run. So I'm going to remain optimistic and stay in the race.
I think you've already kind of addressed it, but I want to make sure that I heard it. If there was a reason, one or two reasons as to why you think you didn't get the endorsement, what do you believe that is?
I believe the primary reason was because I'm so vocal, because I am, they tend to describe my passion as anger and try to label me as an angry black woman. Well, honestly, I'm not an angry black woman. I'm a passionate black woman, and I'm vocal. I'm kind of outspoken, and they don't want outspoken. They don't want anyone who's as outspoken as I am in that position. It seems like, again, they want politics as usual. They want someone who's going to stay under the radar and just go along to get along. And the individuals, there are, and I do support a couple of the individuals who got the endorsement, particularly Wendell Young. I'm going to support him regardless, but he's an incumbent. And then there's one other person, but of course, I'm running my own campaign, so I'm not just going to say that person's name on the radio. But they, again, I've spoken out even at the Hamilton County Board of Elections about the institutional racism. I've been very vocal about Judge Tracy Hunter and her experience as a Democratic candidate, as a woman and a Democratic candidate here in Hamilton County. I've been very vocal about Jeffrey Blackwell. From time to time, I've dropped an F-bomb. And so if I were to specifically say why they eliminated me, it's because I dropped an F-bomb or two on social media, which I make no apologies for that because,
Was that brought to your attention? Kelly, I'm sorry. Was that brought to your attention, literally? Really?
Yes, it was brought to my attention. But if something as small as that would keep someone from being elected, that just, to me, that was, they use that as an excuse. Let that be the reason. Aside from the fact that, again, I was appointed to the Democratic National Convention's Platform Committee. I ran around the country. I've supported Democratic candidates. And, I did really well as a returning candidate. That would be the reason. And ironically, when I had this conversation about me dropping an F-bomb, the same day Oprah was on TV, marketing her new movie about the lady whose cells were used across the nation and even up into the sky, into space. She said, in her office, she said someone said drop the F-bomb, and it was a joke. And she said, in a system that is politically incorrect, sometimes it's strategic to not be as politically correct so that you can connect with the people. So ironically, that Oprah Winfrey said that, and I'm like, okay, wow. And she said that people will use any excuse to keep you out and to block you out of a system that they feel threatened with you being into or entering into. So, I take cues from the environment, and I listen to her, and I listen to individuals like Marion Spencer, who said, keep fighting. As long as I have the people's support, the party support, really, it means something, but it's not something that, I should be discouraged about not having. So, Nathan, I'm so encouraged. I just know that, God has me on this mission, and I'm going to continue on it regardless. Because at the end of the day, we have to start putting people over politics. We have to start putting people over a particular party. And I was listening to the radio the other day, and Jesse Jackson, on Sunday morning, Jesse Jackson was on The Wiz, and on the show on The Wiz, and he said he's independent now. And he said there's one party with two different names. And so when you think about historically how most Republican initiatives continue to be pushed through, I think that without saying it, Jesse was saying that the Republican Party runs the country. Now, as a Democrat, I would hope that that's not the case. But Jesse Jackson pretty much outlined it like there's one party with two different names, and they have two different sets of values. But when you think about how people who get appointed or endorsed, and when you think about these processes, like the endorsement process that took place prior to the community even knowing who is actually running, there may be some truth to this. So I don't know, but either way, I'm going to run again as an independent Democrat, and I'm excited about the race.
Carolyn writes, is Tim Burke the one who decides who gets the Democratic nomination nod? I know that's not the case with City Council. There's a committee, correct?
There is a committee, and during the interview committee, I know that there's a chair, there's a co-chair, and there's a chair and co-chairs of the party, and Tim Burke was actually a part of that. But when I looked around the room, there were a lot of union reps in the meeting. And there were also precinct execs. So what happens with the endorsement committee is you submit your resume, you submit a bio, and you support a resume or bio, and then you submit the endorsement interview questionnaire to the Hamilton County Democratic Committee. And then they make the recommendation for endorsement to the CDC, the Cincinnati Democratic Committee. And then the Cincinnati Democratic Committee can either accept the endorsement request or they can reject it. But from what I understand, the CDC is made up of precinct executives. And the precinct executives, I remember in 2013 receiving a notice of a precinct executive election. And from what I was told, Nathan, and from what I know, just based on like the slate that I saw from Bond Hill, these individuals are individuals who Mayor John Cranley asked to run for precinct exec so that they could have control over who got the endorsement. So, I mean, it's political all around. And, I mean, it's strategic and it's politics. It's politics, and people play to win. And if you were to ask me, I think that, certain people within the party positioned different people to get who they wanted to be endorsed. So it's strategic. And am I surprised by that? No. Because, again, I mean, a campaign, everyone wants a winner, someone who can win. And so this is what they do. This is what they do to win. They position their people to try to get, try to have control over the entire process.
Well, Kelli, keep your head up. Thank you for giving us some insight and sharing some thoughts as to what happened. And we'll definitely catch up. Again, my endeavor is I want to talk to all of the incumbents and each and every one of the candidates, the challengers, and that's a big task of like 37, 40 people. But I'm down for it between now and, of course, Election Day in November.
Okay, well, let me just say this, Nathan. I'm a returning candidate, and my platform is health, inclusion, and justice. I'm a social justice activist, and my passion is addressing the economic and health disparities in our community, making sure that we get the resources to be viable, healthy communities across the board, and fighting for justice, creating a justice league so that people can navigate through the court system, and just helping our city to get back to a safe and healthy place. So thank you so much for taking my call, and I appreciate it. And if you want to have another sit down with me where I can just line up or lay out everything I'm doing, I'm more than willing to do that. All
right, Kelli, have a great day, and I'll catch up with you real soon.
You too. Take care.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
Absolutely. That's Kelli Prather, everybody. And I think she seemed pretty honest. She said, yeah, I'm disappointed. Why wouldn't I be disappointed? That's real. I can imagine had I, made some of the moves that she made, I would be disappointed as well. But of course, nothing is guaranteed in this world. You are not guaranteed anything, no matter what you do. And, if I was in her position, I'd be doing the same thing. You do it independent style and move forward. So, that will be up for you, the voters here in the city of Cincinnati, to make your decision about these individuals. You will have to make a decision about just how important endorsements are. I mean, how important is it? It could mean everything for you. It could mean nothing for you. It could be like, well, it's kind of a 50-50 thing. But we've got a long way to go. We have a long time to November. A long time to November. Anything can happen. I think we got 3 or 4 months until the deadline for the signatures to be in. And then after that deadline, there'll be no new faces, no new names running, at least for this year's election. I think we're 3 months away from that deadline. So we got the summertime. And I think that is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to being at the council forums and hearing and learning about the ideas and the vision of the different candidates. I respect those individuals immensely who have decided that they're going to run and they want to go into public service. And again, you will have to make that decision. You might say, hey, I like Kelly. You might say, hey, I don't like Kelly. You might say, hey, I like, XYZ, whoever the council person may or may not be, or a challenger may be. But again, I will be here to talk about those issues along the way. And again, as we get past the primary, that's when I'm going to start focusing more and more on city council. Then, of course, you're also going to have, once and again, the primary is Tuesday. The primary is Tuesday, 6 days away. After that, I don't want it to end, quite honestly. I really don't. I wish that we could take 3 candidates into November. I'm enjoying it. And I think the city can get something out of the dialogue, like the competition of ideas, the clash of ideas, just comparing and contrasting the different visions. This is what we need. I love it. As someone who likes to keep his eye on local politics, I'm enjoying it. I wish it didn't have to end, honestly. But that was Kelli Prather, everybody. What do you think about Miss Kelli Prather? What do you think about what she had to say? So she pulled, 12,000 votes running in the Democrat primary. And that kind of set the tone for the next thing. You heard her say that. That's why I tell people, don't let other people tell you that you're wrong when you make moves, because they don't understand it. You're not wrong. Anytime you do something and you put your all into it, anytime you do anything, anytime you take a new project and you put your all into it, like you really put your all into it, you may not get the outcome that you had in mind, but it will benefit you. It will benefit you. In this world, what I have found is doing your best. I put my all in the projects before and had unintended consequences, things I never could have saw. But it was because I put my all into it. And I think that's the way it is for everybody. Stop me if I'm wrong on that. But very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let me go to your comments here. What do people have to say? Tracy's like, where is the store that we're talking about, the lean? I believe it was on the corner of Reading Road and Tennessee Avenue. Yeah, Daryl has it, the BP gas station. Clue Magic writes, they use Arabs with stores in the black community to sell it to black people. The owner is more than likely not a black person, and I bet their kids and friends' kids aren't drinking legal lean. Right. How can you sell something to someone else's child that you wouldn't want somebody to sell to your child? I get it. Casey writes, I think people overlook cigarettes as a gateway drug. In fact, all the weed smokers I know smoke cigarettes first. Casey, I think you are absolutely 100% right. Don't get me wrong, okay? You are right. Marijuana is not the gateway drug. It really isn't, despite my flow earlier. The real gateway drug is cigarettes and alcohol. That's where it starts. Grandma walks out, she goes to the bathroom, and grandson or granddaughter, you stick a little of that alcohol in you, 12 years old. Or you got someone around you that's smoking cigarettes. There was a time when smoking cigarettes was a cool thing to do. He's smoking cigarettes. Smoke is billowing out of his mouth. Oh, that's so cool. Until you find out it causes cancer. It's nothing cool about it at all, actually. Very, very interesting. What do you think? Kelly said, right, thanks, Dave. Oh, absolutely. I knew she had an opinion, and I wanted to hear it. And listen, you've got, 37 people who are running for trying to get that endorsement for the Democrat. Well, I don't know if it's 37 people trying to get the endorsement for the Democrat Party. I'm sure you've got several dozen people, a couple dozen people that are running as a Democrat, and they would have loved to have that endorsement. But they've only got 9 spots on city council. 4 of those are going to be taken by the incumbents. You know that. A young man, Seelbach Sittenfeld. You already know that. That only leaves 5 spots open. So, of course, someone's going to be left out. And I'm hoping to catch up with Lloyd Quinvillin as well. Hopefully she'll talk with me. Hopefully. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. Again, you could have been anywhere in the World Wide Web, but you chose to spend time with me this morning. Thank you for your time. Shout out to my patrons. Shout out to Team and I. Shout out to the Choppers. And shout out to my good friends at soulpublicradio.com and my new friends, the X Squad affiliates. Now, this episode will be made available as a podcast on my website. If you miss any part of it, you can watch it. You can listen to the show in its entirety. Tomorrow is Friday, so I need your Gilligan of the Week nominations, please. You can bring them to the front of the church. I need your Hero of the Week nominations. And, of course, I cannot forget, on Sunday at 8 p.m., you ever watched a show called Little Big Shots? Oh, you know I've watched it because my daughter's watched it before. You know, she fancies herself a little big shot. But a Cincinnati dancer, that's an 11-year-old Cincinnati boy whose his dancing went viral. He was battle dancing with the CPD. He's like, oh, you think you can dance? And I watched the video again this morning. I love it. Great spirit. It's positive. He's going to be featured on NBC's Little Big Shots on Sunday. And we got to support him. 8 p.m. NBC. It's called Little Big Shots on Sunday. I will be watching. I don't know. I don't watch enough of it to know. Is it like a fan thing where you can call in 1-800 number? And his name is Ellis Weaver. A shout out to little Ellis Weaver, representing the city. My name is Nathan Ivey. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I'm out.